Give me the meat and give it to me raw.
Raw. It's
You pick up your palette knife and then work that into your meat. Give your meat a good old rub. Yeah, boy.
So in Keto Palooza, there was this guy. He wore a shirt, and it was the four of us at the table, and none of us had our glasses. Couldn't read his shirt, so me and Kim, I think, thought his shirt said "Daddy Butter." So every time I saw him, I really wanted to call him Daddy Butter. Thankfully, she stopped me every time because I don't know what would have happened. But I'm changing my channel name to Daddy. I dare you. I dare you. Do it, Sean.
Mo Butter.
Mama didn't raise no boop.
He changed his name to Daddy Butter.
Wait, did he? Wait, where?
Yeah.
I just...
Oh my God. Oh, my wife thinks I'm losing my mind over here.
Oh my God. What's your carnivore street name? Oh, that's a good question. So, John, if you can change your name to something other than Carnivore Backwoods, getting back to the street name, what would it be?
I don't know. I had a hard time coming up with Carnivore Backwoods, to tell you the truth. I don't know. You can't put me on the spot like that. That's a hard question. I don't know.
Okay. So people in the chat, tell us what our channel name should be. If we were to change our channel names for 2 weeks, for 14 days, what should we change it to? Daddy Butterwoods. I like it.
Daddy Butterwoods.
That's funny.
Breaker 19, this is the Rubber Duck. Who's leading this here convoy? Over.
I read you, Rubber Duck. This is the Carnivore Trucker heading this bacon convoy. We're on the road to health through the carnivore diet. Why don't you follow us? Over.
10-4, Carnivore Trucker. Let's bring home the bacon. Over.
Well, that was some good stuff right there.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to Bacon Convoy. Got Carnivore Backwoods. Good buddy here.
I'm glad to be here, Sean. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. First, we got former fat girl Nicole up here. Got Mama Cracker. Keto Cheeto. And I just lost my comments. Okay. Susie Underwood's here.
Hey, Susie.
Rick's here. And he had a great time with his rubber duckies, apparently.
That's the butter duck right there.
That's a good one. Maybe we could get that one to stick.
Yeah, call him the butter duck. We got the short butter girl.
The short butter girl, along with Nurse Butter.
Nurse Butter.
Yeah, we have our little butter team. That's awesome. So yeah, man. Like I was saying, we've been on a couple of streams together, but haven't really had a chance to really get to know each other all that much. So, I don't think I haven't really heard your story. Like, how'd you get into carnivore and all that fun stuff?
So back in February, I was actually preparing. This was last February, the end of winter, first part of spring. was preparing to plant my garden for the year, and I was surfing YouTube looking for inspiration, watching some of the channels I follow, and I was on a channel called Roots and Refuge. It's a great channel. I've been following it for years, and she did a health update. And on the health update, she went into her health issues, what she'd been dealing with, and how she had started the carnivore diet, and how that reversed a bunch of her health issues, and she lost a bunch of weight and stuff. And I was fascinated by it, and so I started deep diving into carnivore. Started looking it up on YouTube. Found Dr. Ken Berry. Found Sean White, Carnivore Kip. Some of those channels that were pretty active back then before all the boom of all the new channels popped up. I think I found Homestead Hal probably within the first month or so of it, and I just started researching it and looking at it, and for about 2 weeks, I talked about it with the wife, and we decided that we were going to give it a try, and we started March 1st. I weighed 345 pounds, we started, and I lost 15, 20 pounds just within a week or two. Most of that was water weight, obviously, but that came off, and I was pretty impressed with it. But I was feeling 100% better. I was already starting to feel, remarkably better. Pains went away, joint pains went away. I started sleeping better. There was just a long list of things that was going on. I started noticing, and so we kept on. The wife lost some weight, and we just kept pushing through, and here we've gone through 80 pounds down as of the last time I weighed myself, looking to lose probably another 40 or so before I find the bottom of this. But I think I've been stalled out for a little while, but I'm not weighing myself now for the month of November. So we'll see what the end of the month comes to.
That's cool, man. Congratulations on that weight loss. By the sounds of it, we probably started our channels around the same time. I started mine, I think, in February.
When did you start yours?
I think in February.
So my channel has been this channel. It wasn't Carnivore Backwoods. I officially changed the name in July to Carnivore Backwoods. It used to be Smoky Mountain Outdoors, and I was just going to do a blog about living off grid. I changed the name and rebranded it Carnivore Backwoods in the end of July, and I've been pushing, on building the channel pretty much nonstop since then.
Yeah, you've been busy.
I have been busy. I'm 1,100 and some odd subscribers as of today. I'm should hit the 3,000 watch hours probably today. If not today, I'll hit it within the next day or two max. But and then I expect I'll hit 4,000 before the year's out. So on my channel fully built by then, and then it's just a matter of putting out good content.
That's cool. Yeah, you mentioned your sleep improved. Did you have sleep apnea or anything?
No, but I was the typical, couldn't sleep, didn't want to go to, sleep till, midnight. Then I would wake up, about 3 a.m. You have to go use the restroom.
Oh yeah.
Go back to sleep. Hopefully you could sleep till you woke up the next morning if you didn't have to wake up to go use the restroom again. Typical, night that you think is, a typical night. But since I started Carnivore, I very rarely, every once in a while, if I drink, like on a night like today or today where I've been streaming all day and I've been sipping on water to keep my mouth, from going dry, I'll probably be up in the middle of the night. But most nights I sleep right through. I sleep beautifully. I get good, solid sleep. I go to sleep right around 10:30, 11 o'clock every day, and I am up every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Unless I try to force myself to sleep a little longer. And that's weird for me because if I got out of bed before 10, 11 noon, that was a rare occasion. But now on this diet, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm wide awake. I tried to sleep in this morning a little bit after the wife left for work. And, by 6:30, 7 o'clock, I just couldn't take it any longer. I had to get up.
Yeah. Like, I have sleep apnea, and I have to wear my CPAP. This isn't carnivore related, but once I started sleeping with this CPAP machine, and I've been sleeping with it for like 3-4 years now, but I used to get up every night, like in the middle of the night, like you were talking about, and that went away as soon as I started wearing the CPAP. So I think that's interesting. But I also pretty sure I have that genetic sleep apnea, because I mean it hasn't gone away with the weight loss.
And that's quite possible.
Yeah, I think so, because my dad has it too.
It runs in the family, and it causes all kinds of issues. It causes heart disease. They say you can't sleep at night and whatnot. So my dad ended up having a heart attack and dying at 52. So that's always been a thing on my mind as I closer and closer to approaching the big 5-0 here in the next 11 months.
I get you. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry about your father.
Yeah, no. I look back at it now, and I wish it was, if I'd known about carnivore back then, because it would have been a lot better for him, because everything they did to him was completely anti what he needed.
Yeah.
Back then they were doing the big push to stay off salt. They were, the carbohydrate, the blood sugar, but they wanted you to stay off salt. They didn't want you eating any fatty red meat. I mean, all the stuff he jumped through, it's frustrating to look back at now and realize it was absolutely the wrong direction for him.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Mama Cracker, I've been trying to give you likes and time to most of you. Hope that helps. We appreciate that. And D says hi.
Hey, D.
So yeah, let's see. I'm trying to think. I didn't write any questions down.
It's okay. We're all good.
So, you used to do homesteading videos then?
So, yeah, I didn't really get any. I did a few videos, and I was going to re-edit them and put them back up. But, we cleared the property. So we bought this property in beginning of 2020, right before the thing we didn't discuss, right?
4 times.
Yeah. We bought this property right there, at the beginning it was either right at the end of 2019 or the beginning of 2020. And it was all wooded, hadn't been done to this land in years. And I came out here and I started cutting trees and dropping and started cleaning up to try to get us in here by myself. And I quickly came to the conclusion that there was just no way I was going to be able to get that done by myself. So I ended up hiring a guy with a forestry mulcher. Came in, basically it's a big skid steer with a drum wheel on the front of it that spins, and it literally just eats trees. And so he came out in 8 hours. He cleared a third of an acre down to there was nothing left. There was no slash pile. He ground it all up into wood chips. So that was pretty impressive, and I have a video on that. Watching him, he could just go up to a tree and he'd run into it and he'd hit it, and then the tree would just suck into the machine and then go in 1,000 pieces.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool to watch, and he did a great job. Cleared off a third of an acre here, and then from there we had to get a septic system or tank put on the property, and so we paid to have the septic put in. And while I was having them do that, I had them build me a pad where the trailer sits right now. And once the septic was in, I moved our camper trailer, 32-foot Conquest, out here on the property. And we put up we already had bought some solar panels. We got up solar panels, and we were tanking in water from a local spring in totes, so that we had water on the property. And that's how we operated for the first year or so. And then I started working on building a rainwater collection system that collects all the water that comes off the roof, and diverts it, filters it, and puts it into a tank. And we use that water for our for washing dishes, showers, the toilet, so on and so forth. I still go get spring water for cooking and for making coffee, but we're not getting it in 330-gallon tanks. I take over a couple 5-gallon jugs and fill them up every few weeks, and that's what we use. So that we live basically completely off grid. Struggled with the internet out here for a long time because I'm on the back side of a hill and all the cell towers are on the other side of it. So finally got Starlink in here, and struggled with it for a little bit, but I got it up 30 feet on the air on top of 2-inch of galvanized pipe, and it's working really good right now. So hopefully we'll see how it works in the spring when the trees get their leaves back, but right now it's working really good. And we were going to build a cabin. The plan is it's going to be about 1,100 square foot. I got the area, the trees cut down on that area. I got a bunch of trees I got to buck up and either cut them into firewood or cut them into links to go on my sawmill. And we're going to start digging that all out, and then pour the foundation piers, and then build a cabin on top of it. So I have lots of projects, and just a matter of making time for it.
Yeah, that's awesome. You should record some of it for your channel.
I will. Now I'm a lot more active about recording them. But a year ago or 2 years ago, I'd record a little bit, but it was pretty much garbage, So now I'm gonna take a bit more time to make sure I get better recording of it.
Yeah, but I live in a 24-foot trailer out in the woods, and I've been trying to save up, working all these long hours on the road. I want to get some property and pretty much do the same. I would like to live off grid. I've looked into solar as well, but that's kind of out of my price range at the moment.
Yeah, well, when you decide to do it, let me know and we'll talk about it, because it's out of your price range if you believe all the hype, but you can actually do it fairly cheap. You could I built my whole system for $4,000. And I power everything in the house, including the microwave. It'll run the air conditioner in the trailer for about an hour on the 2 battery packs. But the air conditioner I put in here in this room is a mini split, and I can run it all day long and still put power in the batteries, and then run it all night long, keeping that room comfortable, and then charge it back up during the day. So you just have to systematically approach it so that you're using the best efficiency possible.
Nice. Okay. Well, I was looking at a 3-pack system with a 3,000 watt.
Yeah, that should get you done. I'm pushing 2,800 watts of solar panels, and the charge controller. I can do a max of 9,000 watts surge and 4,000 continuous. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I got 2 lithium LiPo 4 batteries packs. They're 24 volts each, and they'll run me pretty much everything except for now this time of year where the sun goes down and in my backside of this hill. I'll end up running the generator a couple times a week to to bump my power back up. But for the most part in the summer, I don't need any assistance.
Yeah.
We get enough sun, and with the new air conditioner, it doesn't hardly use any power whatsoever.
I think I missed it. Did you say your battery packs were lead or lithium?
Lithium ion, lithium PO4.
Those got to be a little pricey.
They cost me $1,600 a piece, and they're a pack.
Sounds about right.
They're a stack. So they were the more expensive part of it. Like I said, maybe put that 1632, 42. Okay, maybe I'm into it 52,000 or 5,200. I mean, not 52,000, 5,200.
Okay.
So I'd say that's pretty close to about where I'm at in solar, $5,200. And
That's
like
cool.
I said, I can run. If I'm conservative, I can run for 3 days without sun. If I'm conservative.
Yeah, I forget where you said you're living at.
I live 45 minutes north of north of Knoxville.
Okay.
So if you're running 40, and you headed up the 81, there's Morristown on the left. I live basically in between Knoxville and Morristown, out in the country.
Oh, okay. I think I know that road. It's been a while since I've been out east.
Yeah, so I mean, you got 40 that cuts across the state, and you got 81 that splits off of it, heads north towards Virginia and Bristol and all that.
Yeah.
I live out in the country, basically in between Morristown and Knoxville.
Okay.
Up here near what they call it, the Cumberland Tunnel, and an area up there at Tazewell. You cut into Kentucky. I'm about, I don't know, 30-40 minutes from there. I could be in Kentucky in about 30-40 minutes.
Okay, I get the general area.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, Arlene Blackwood, I'm 9 weeks in and feel much better, especially mentally. So much hope in healing, and lost 8 pounds. My hubby is 5 weeks in and down 15 pounds and finally under 300, and so encouraged and feels better. That's awesome.
It's every day's a journey, but it's worth it.
And everybody's saying awesome, Arlene. And Rick says you should try wood gas.
Yeah, Rick's a true offer, doing all kinds of projects like that. He's mentioned it before. I haven't even looked into it, but it's you're utilizing wood and getting the gas to come off of it or something like that. I don't know. I have to delve into it. Me and him need to have a conversation where he's not in chat box.
Yeah, right.
And we're not joking around and talking about the short little former fat girl.
Or ducks.
Or fat ducks.
Arlene Blackwood again says, thank you guys very much. I was so scared to go into this that I couldn't make my husband something that he would like, because he really liked carbs, but all of the sudden he said I'm starting today. Yeah, sometimes you have to be the example. It's hard to
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to like convince someone to do this. And
just remember, sometimes the light at the end of the tunnel looks like a pin light in the beginning, but it just grows as it keeps going.
I like that. D has a question. I'm sure you've told people, but I don't know you, Backwoods. What made you go carnivore?
So I think I covered that at the beginning of it here, but
yeah,
the health-wise, I was majorly overweight. I had dealt with a bad case of hemorrhoids. That it was an eye opener to me. diabetes, fatty liver, high blood pressure. So I was dealing with a bunch of things going on, and some of it I didn't even start carnivore because of I just wanted to lose weight and try to get healthier. I didn't realize it was going to reverse my diabetes or my fatty liver or any of that stuff at the time when I started carnivore. I literally at that point my only focus was losing the weight, and then within a week or two I've been feeling 100% better, and then realizing that things were improving and learning more about the carnivore diet. I learned that I could reverse a whole bunch of stuff. So that became my why in the end. But originally it was solely I just wanted to lose all the extra weight I had gained. I had lost back in 2012. I had got a burr under my saddle and decided I was gonna lose some weight, and so I got an elliptical, and I got the fitness my Fitness Pal app on my phone, and I started counting calories, and I started doing the elliptical, and I was pushing out to do the burn more burn more calories than you're consuming, and doing that whole 9 yards, and I lost quite a bit of weight, over a winter time. I had lost quite a bit of weight. We started hiking up in the Sierra Mountains up in Lake Tahoe. Went up to all along some of the Pacific Crest, Maggie's Peak, whole bunch of places up there, and had got much better with swimming. And I got down to probably about the weight I'm at right now, and I went to my doctor, which was a newer doctor. I switched doctors from a doctor I had in Reno to a doctor that was closer in Fernley. And I went to him and said, look, I'm taking 80 milligrams of Lipitor. I've lost all this weight. Can we start looking at reducing my medications? And so he looked at it. He said, yeah, he says, we'll reduce you down to 40 milligrams of simvastatin. And I was like, okay, whatever. That means, one cholesterol medicine to the next cholesterol medicine, whatever. I didn't really pay attention to it. I just did what the doctor, wanted me to do at the time. And so I started taking simvastatin, and, I within a week or two, I started getting these really bad muscle cramps. I mean, they were really bad muscle cramps. I mean, just about, excruciating pain, like like somebody was crushing your leg or ripping it off, which is really bad.
Wow.
And it would happen after exerting myself. If I went on long walks or hikes, or if I got on the elliptical, then I'd be laying down at night, and then my leg would just want to ball up into a knot. I get cramps while swimming, so I couldn't swim. It was really frustrating. Of course, I went to the doctor, and they're like, well, you need to drink more water. You're not getting enough potassium, salts, magnesium. And so after a while, I just learned what the triggers were, and I stopped doing them. I just stopped doing things that would trigger it. And in the process, I just started putting all the weight back on, and I put it on. This time we had decided we were going to move to Tennessee. And so we were selling off all our stuff because we didn't, we were moving across the country, and my goal was I got junk in Nevada. I can buy junk in Tennessee. I don't need to haul it across the country. Right. So we sold off, RVs, jet skis, all the stuff that we had accumulated, and saved that money towards the trip, which was handy. But by the time we made it to Tennessee, I was already back up close to 300 pounds. I was teetering in the 290 to 300 mark. And, I was still dealing with the leg cramps. And this was, a good year after I'd been on that changed medicine. And I went, a little longer, probably a year or so. And I finally had enough. And I was laying there one night, and I just had a huge major muscle cramp. And so I I got on Google and I started looking up. I was like, I don't remember ever having this until I started that medicine, and I wonder. And so I started Googling side effects of simvastatin, and the two top things that pop up when you Google side effects of simvastatin is it one is it causes excessive eating, and it causes muscle cramps. And you're like, it was just like an aha moment, and I was like, oh, okay. I said, I got to get off this medicine. So I scheduled an appointment with the doctor, and I had already taken myself off the medicine. Not that I told the doctor that, but I'd already I'm done with this. This is what it is. I'm 100% certain of it. But I went in and talked to him. He him-hawed around on it. He didn't want to agree with me. But in the end, he finally said, okay, well, we'll do it. But we're going to monitor your cholesterol, and if it goes back up, we're gonna have to figure something out, put you on a different medicine or something. And I'm like, okay, doc. And in the back of my head, I'm like, no, that's never going to happen. I'm never going back on this medicine again. I've learned too much at this point about this simvastatin that I'm not doing it. So came off the medicine. In a few weeks, I started noticing that the muscle cramping was not as intense, but it took a long time for it to really. And I was still dealing with it even until I started Carnivore, where I'd still get the occasional muscle cramp every once in a while, where my leg would just want to ball up, especially if I did a bunch of walking or something.
Oh wow!
Go ahead.
I just said, oh wow.
Yeah. Since starting Carnivore, I every once in a while, but most of the time, I think that's mostly just if I get a little bit of salt, then it goes away. If I'll get like a tension in the muscle. And I tell people I don't know what that drug did to my muscles, and I probably will have damage that are done to it for the rest of my life. But they're healing, and they're a lot better than they were. And every once in a while, I'll get some tension in it, and I'll stretch my leg out, and then I normally just go get a pinch of salt, and that's seems to resolve it. But yeah, simvastatin was a big one for me that led to all my weight gain coming back after starving myself there for a while and exercising like crazy. So I've been back and forth trying to figure out a way to lose weight since we got here in Tennessee. I'd even bought an elliptical and tried doing that and tried counting calories and that wasn't working. I mean, I was killing myself and I just wasn't getting anywhere. We went to the gym, got on the machines at the gym, worked on, doing that. We tried swimming, still dealing with some muscle cramps if I got, in the pool. So that wasn't really a working plan. So, I just slowly but surely kept putting the weight on until I reached the 345 pound mark. And I've been hovering around that for some time. And that's when I found that channel on YouTube where she was talking about the carnivore diet. And that's what led me down the rabbit hole and got me on the diet back in March.
Wow. It's quite a story. Yeah, these medicines that they want to put us on are always a bit suspect,
Well, absolutely. So, I started losing weight, and I started monitoring, what's up, Mike? I started monitoring my blood pressure. And of course, as I was losing weight and getting from fat adaptive and getting into ketosis, Carnivore Kip, what's up, bud?
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Getting into ketosis, then my blood pressure started dropping pretty dramatically. And I have a video on this on my channel that you can actually see my numbers where, my blood pressure was coming down month after month as I was on the diet. And it actually got to a point where I ended up getting lightheaded and dizzy at work. So we ended up taking me off of my HCTZ, but we came off one of my benzapril first, and then we came off of HCTZ. And one of the side effects of HCTZ that I found out is insulin resistance. And so I've been taking HCTZ since I was 24, 25.
Wow.
And since then my blood sugar has been creeping up since I started taking that medication. So one thing led to another, but they don't tell you that type of stuff. When doctors are prescribing this medicine, you just go in there like, oh, well, your blood sugar's up, so now we're going to prescribe you metformin. And if it keeps going up, then you're going to have to start, injecting insulin. And it's insane what they do with the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, it's almost like they don't do long-term testing. Um, D says, I'm 25 plus years a nurse. Most meds I will not touch. Wow, you could have died. Yeah, that's. I agree. Like you probably have some damage, like you were saying. And Don Shonger, good evening. And Susan's here in the house. But yeah, man, that's crazy. I'm glad I never got on any meds or anything. I haven't even haven't even gotten my labs done in like I would say like 2, maybe 3 years.
Well, I just got my labs done again. Well, I did a little bit of my labs. So went to the doctor in July after I've been on the diet for about almost 4 months. And of course, I went to her and I had lost quite a bit of weight. At this point, I had lost 40, 60 pounds, something like that, probably. And, got my labs done. Of course, try to explain it to the doctor, what I'm doing. And she seemed pretty supportive of most of it, but then she, towards the end of it, she's like, well, we're going to have to get you on Metamucil. And I'm like, why? She's like, well, you have to have fiber, for your colon health. And I'm like, no, I don't need any fiber. I'm perfectly fine in that department. I have no problem, going to the restroom. Why would I want to put fiber? Oh, it's good for your colon. I said, no, that's not true. So that study actually says that, if people who consumed a lot of fiber and had colon cancer had less mortality. That study didn't say anything about it not causing colon cancer. That's a misnomer and a myth that's been going around for years. But if you actually go back and read the study, it doesn't actually say that. It doesn't say anything about colon health. It just says that people who had colon cancer and consumed large amounts of fiber, they had less mortality. And so I don't have colon cancer and I have no problem going to the bathroom. I don't need any fiber. And so at that point, her eyes rolled back in her head like a slot machine, and she couldn't beat her way out that door. And we haven't talked since. It took her a month before she even decided to try to call me to talk to me about my labs, which I found quite funny. So my labs were good in July. My cholesterol, my LDLs were still about where they were. I think they'd gone up just a slight bit. They've always been high, even under statins. But my triglycerides dropped from, they were triple digits. I think they were close to 200. They dropped down to like 80. My HDLs were up, and my ratio was like 1.5 to 1. Triglycerides to HDLs, which anything under 3 is considered optimal. So I was extremely happy about that. And my blood sugar went from 7.1 down to 5.7 for my A1C. So I was extremely happy about that. And so, we of course, I got her to agree that I was coming off the metformin, and then eventually we came off the most of the blood pressure medication. Now coming here in November, this week I decided I'm kind of curious. I was going to have a live stream with Dr. Tony Hampton, and I was kind of curious about where my blood level or my labs were. So I went to ownyourlabs.com, which is an online site you can go to, and you can actually purchase and have labs done. So I did a basic metabolic panel, A1C, and my cholesterol, and that came back really good. My triglycerides are farther down. My HDLs are up. My ratio is now 0.8 to 1, so it's 0.8 to 1. It's below a 1, so that's really good. My A1C is still high. It's at 5.8, but that's a common thing amongst people who eat carnivore, that that their sometimes their blood sugar just hangs in that 5.6, 5.7, 5.8 range. And so we're going to continue to monitor that, but I'm not consuming any sugar, and there's no way I'm averaging 120 on the glucose, because I'm not consuming any sugar. And when I do take my blood, I'm normally in the 80 to 90 range, and my fasting glucose on that test was 88. So, there's some research out there, but there's not a lot of it that indicates that on a meat-based diet, your red blood cells live longer, and so they gather more sugar, and so it makes it look like your sugar levels are higher than they ought to be. But we're going to do some better testing next time that actually go into the C peptides and whatnot, and make sure that I'm looking at it all. But overall, my blood was really good. Dr. Tony Hampton was ecstatic with it. He loved it, so I'm happy with it.
Huh. That's interesting. I'm not read up on what most of the those readings mean, like what's average or what's good and all that. I'm not familiar with that, but I do want to comment on and say it's kind of sad how many doctors aren't read up on current studies. I think Dr. Barry had said we can print out some of those studies and give them to our doctors, which they were probably.
I think we should all buy Dr. Barry's book, the lies my doctor told me, and give it to our doctors for Christmas.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea. But Dee says that's what they do. One med leads to another, and then one med leads to another. I'm not singing.
Yeah, Mike Shaw was singing yesterday too, I think.
I missed that. Arlene, I had burning feet from diabetes, eating too much fruit on a vegan diet, though. I was also doing Weight Watchers. Oh, Weight Watchers sucks. And I was about 60 years old then 6 years ago. And so I became low carb, keto-ish diet in 2020. That's awesome.
That's awesome.
And then Mike said Dr. Hampton had a lot of good things to say. Drop that A1C. Oh, hey. Look who's here. Meeting Wellness.
What's up, Chris? Yeah, and it's like Dee said, it's still in a good range. Yeah, 5.8. I'm not concerned with it. Everything else is getting better. When I do labs again, I'm gonna get a CAC score. And I'll go down that. But I did the labs this week because I knew I was going to have a live with Dr. Hampton, and I was like, let's look at this, and then we can, we'll see what it is, and then we can have a discussion on it. And I think that's really good for the community, because a lot of people are asking questions about labs and blood work, and they want to know things, and I'm like, here it is. I put up 2022 where you can see that I was circling the drain. I got 2023 after being on the diet for 4 months, and now I got November's numbers showing you where I'm at 8 months on the diet. And I'll post up numbers again when I reach March 1st of next year. I'll post up at my 1 year mark, and at that time I'm going to try to get a CAC score done, and I expect it to be extremely good. It'll probably be 0 or maybe 1, and it just shows that you can correct your diet if you get the focus to do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I should do that. What was it? Own your numbers, right?
Own your labs.
Own your labs. I should do that.
So,
I'll call Dr. Hampton too.
Yeah, so it's really simple to do. You could do it on your phone. You go in there and they have all the labs. You might want to do a little bit of research so you know what labs that you want to do. But each one costs a certain amount of money. Some of them are cheap, some of them are really expensive. Some of them are like a big group of labs, so that's why they're really expensive. But you go in there and pick out the labs that you want to get done, and then it goes through and you pay for it, and that's all the money you have paid for the labs to be done. Within 24 hours, they're going to email you the lab order, which you're going to print. They give it to you in a PDF or a PNG format. You print that, you take it to LabCorp, near you, and you just download the app for LabCorp, and then you can search and make an appointment for whatever LabCorp is closest to you. You go and you schedule an appointment. You walk in there, you hand them the sheet. They don't charge you anything because it's all paid for on through the app or through Own Your Labs.
Yeah,
I was in and out in less than 5 minutes. She took a couple vials of blood, and off I went.
that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna look into it.
And then the very next morning when I got up, the labs were already done. So I got that done at like 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon and on a Tuesday, and then when I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning Wednesday, my lab numbers were already posted.
Oh wow, yeah, that's fast. Mike says I had some pitted edema in my feet, especially right. Doc had a BNP to check for heart issues. It was under 5 on a 1 to 100 scale, so it's not the heart. Swelling went down a couple of days ago. Huh. I don't know what to make of that. Rick says younger than me and circling down the drain is a bad thing. Unfortunately, that's a lot of people.
Well, there's a lot of people circling the drain. You see them every day when you go out and you're in public. You see them. They're we're at 1 foot in the grave already and probably don't even know it.
Yeah, no, they don't even know it. Meeting.
Yeah, that's true. You get, and I did that. You get a 10% discount on your labs if you agree to the anonymous use data for research, which asks if you're on the carnivore diet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll remember that. Rick says, I feel so much better and have so much more energy as well as zero pain in my body. I really don't care too much about my labs.
That was John, not Rick. Good.
Oh. Champion within, yes. My Apex Odyssey, I got my labs on the next day too, which really surprised me since it was Saturday. Oh wow.
It's not that hard to do them anymore.
I was going to ask you about your CAC score.
Haven't done it yet. That'll be the next thing on my list to get done. I will do a CAC score for probably in March.
I'm interested in doing that myself because I smoked for probably half my life.
I think meeting wellness. Yeah, well, I smoked I started smoking when I was a teenager. I was probably 14, 15, maybe 13. I smoked it up until I was in my 20s.
I was 19 when I first started smoking. Little hoodlum with my friend. We went underneath the bridge under like the highway. We were smoking cigarettes.
I went to school in Virginia City. You know where Virginia City, Nevada is?
I think so.
It's a little mining town up in the in the mountains. It's it's historical. If you watch Bonanza, they went from the Ponderosa Ranch. They went to Virginia City. That was the big thing there. Virginia City is a historical mining town up on top of a mountain. And I went to school there, for the last part of my elementary, middle school, and into a little bit of high school. And we would go. I mean, this is tell the time now because you can't do this now. But we would go and get off school property. We would walk up the staircase to the top of the staircase, which was street level of the main road through town, and we'd smoke. that's what we all did. It was the smokers hangout. We all went up there and smoked. We every break, on lunch hour, we'd all run up there and smoke cigarettes, and then we go back and do school.
That reminds me of Breakfast Club.
Yeah. Back then we could go off campus all we wanted, so we'd run around town. We'd probably go get some, something to eat at one of the little casino restaurant, saloons up on the main drag. Yeah, it was a great time. It was a crazy place to go to school, and I loved it up there.
Good old days, I guess.
Mm.
Well, meeting wellness. How are you going to get your CAC score? I want one since I am a lean mass hyper responder, but I think I need to just pay cash. Anyone know how to do that?
I don't know yet. I don't know if I got, because I didn't see it in the lab work, so I got to do some research into that. I really don't know.
Shouldn't you just be able to call up a hospital and request it? And I think it's not horribly expensive just to pay out of cash.
I don't know. Leanne, are you listening?
No, what's up?
CAC. Yeah. You think you can just call up the hospital and request to get one done?
Is the CAC?
Coronary artery calcium test. My wife's a nurse. Maybe Dee knows if she's still in here.
I think I saw her. Dee, still in here?
Susan says I found a local imaging company, costs $99.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think it's relatively cheap.
Been having chest pains all evening. My CA score scares me, and my cardio doctor is out of the country till 1/24/24. Was in 5 minutes last time I saw him.
You're talking about a coronary artery calcium test?
Yeah, CAC.
It's a scan.
Yeah, it's a scan. It's a type of imaging scan.
It's where they take pictures of your imaging of your heart's arteries to see if they can detect calcium deposits.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what's going on, Mike? Susan? Chest pains. Okay. Oh, that's in response to that. Okay.
Yeah, Susan needs to go have that checked out if she's having chest pains.
Yeah, chest pain, chest.
It's on the right side.
I don't care what side it's on. I'd still go have it checked out.
Yeah. Susan, you might have to go to the hospital.
We have to, you have to take into consideration, Carnivore does a lot of things, but, I spent 49 years, thrashing my body. I've spent 8 months trying to correct some of it, but, 49 years is a long time of doing bad stuff to my body, and we've all done it. There's things, damage that we've done to our bodies that may never heal, and we need to make sure that we're staying on top of it and staying healthy as best we can and dealing with issues. So if you're having chest pains or issues like that, I would highly recommend that you need to go see a doctor.
Yeah, Susan, starting to scare us here.
Women's chest pain symptoms are different. They're not like normal.
Yeah, my wife said women's chest pain systems are different. They're not. That's what I thought I said. Symptoms. Being corrected from the background here. Sorry.
Okay.
I have been having chest pains all evening. My CAC score scares me, and my cardio doctor's out of the country till January the 24th. Was in and out 5 minutes last time I saw him. Got to find a new doctor. You need to go see what's going on with that. you don't need to be waiting, and you definitely don't need to wait to January. You need to go find out what's going on with that, because there's damage has been done. And some things are just not repairable, or not healable. You may need to have some medical, intervention. So, I'd be definitely going to have that checked out.
Yeah, I agree.
What else we got here?
Well, we got
She
Mike.
says I took an aspirin. Well,
Aspirin's
that's
not gonna do. Aspirin's only something to get you to the hospital so they can get you checked out.
Did you hear that?
Hear it. No, I didn't hear it.
And aspirin will thin your blood a little bit to be able to give you time to get to the hospital. If you're truly having a heart attack, aspirin is not going to cure a heart attack. She needs to get to the hospital and be checked out, stress test or whatever. But if she's truly having chest pains, she needs to have it checked out. They need to get blood tests, check troponins. Shall I continue?
You get all that? I don't know if you guys can hear my wife in the background or not.
I heard her barely.
She says she needs to get into the hospital and get checked out, and the aspirin is only going to be good enough to get you to the hospital. It's not a long-term resolution to the problem. So if you're having symptoms and whatnot, you need to get checked out. Or like Champion Within, he used to be a medic. He says call 911 and let the paramedics check you out and do an ECG.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not nothing to waste time on or to debate.
Yeah, and as Dee says, if it's not the heart, you're no worse off for going.
Yeah, you're better off doing it and then being wrong, and then not doing it and us being right that you're having an issue. You can have permanent damage or worse, death. So,
Ooh. Susan says last time I went, they said it was stress, but I do have 2 small blockages.
you need to have that checked out, Susan.
Yeah.
ASAP, if not sooner.
Yeah, I agree. Susan, you're making me worried.
Making us all worried. Yeah. Do you have somebody that can take you to the hospital, Susan?
Let's wait for Susan to reply.
Susan's been on and off my channel several times. Been in comments and stuff. And we've all had her, I think, on our channels. We appreciate you, Susan. We love our carnivore community, but if you're having any type of chest or pain issues, you really you need to go out. You're going to call your son. That's a good move.
Yeah. We can lose the view. It's fine, Susan. Go call your son.
And if we're stressing you out, we're sorry, but we just want you to make sure that you're taking care of yourself.
Yes. Arlene, are you very, very stressed, Susan? Settle yourself down. If so, and do a lot of relaxing things you like for days. I have to do relaxing things every day because I could be a very stressed out person.
Yep.
And Champion Within, 90% of heart attacks are spotted on EKG. Paramedics are highly trained in cardiology.
One of the number one killers of people. So
Yeah.
good. Her son's coming.
Even Rick's saying, "Go, don't mess around." Good. All right, Susan, your son's coming. I think we got that. Love you, Susan. Yeah. Oh, do you have a dog there that is paying more attention to you? Then yeah. But okay, since Susan's son is coming, I feel better if we end it. Susan, good. Okay.
Or we can stay on here until Susan's son gets there. How far
yeah,
away is he?
Yeah, how far away is he? Sorry about the silence. We're just
We're all watching the chat box. Yeah.
yeah, we're concerned about you, Susan.
I hope it's nothing. I hope she goes there and it's just stress and whatnot. But you're better off just being safe than sorry.
Yeah. The champion within 911 is paid for on your phone bill. Call it. Your son. Is your son able to treat a heart attack? People get mad at me for joking about heart attacks, Rick. Well, in your context, it's funny, but not right now.
Susan, you still with us?
Yeah.
Well. Okay, good.
Just putting your shoes on. Okay, great.
She there?
Yeah, she's there. She was just putting her shoes on. How far away is your son?
Stress can hit the spine too, which can feel heart attacky. Two minutes. Good. But yeah, D, we're all watching for Susan.
We're all going to be praying for you, Susan.
Yeah.
If anybody finds out anything about this, after the fact, if they could let me know, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah. If you hear anything, John, let me know.
Yeah, I will. Susan, let us know what's going on when if you're okay and everything.
5 minutes away.
Okay.
And Mike says we're praying, Susan. It's going to be okay. Glad you're getting checked out.
Susan, how old are you?
I believe she said it earlier. I'm looking through the comments. I think she said how old she was.
I think she did back there too.
I can't find it.
Something about, I remember something about 60, and then it'd been 6 years or something. So
Yeah. Come on, Mike.
62. Okay.
62. Okay.
She's my age ish. Yeah, we're all gonna be praying for you, Susan. You're gonna be fine. Just go get it checked out and make sure what it is. You know,
Yeah.
we're not spring chickens anymore. We all got to have, take that stuff seriously.
Okay. She's leaving.
Okay, Susan.
Yeah.
If everything's okay, let us know, and we'll be praying for you.
Yeah. All right. Let us all know, please. So. Yeah. Somehow, Susan, keep us updated. But yeah, get off the stream. Go to the hospital. We feel better now that you're on your way.
Well, that was an interesting turn here. So let's all just pray for Susan.
Yeah.
And hopefully all is well there.
Lambs, he just kind of.
You came in at the end. We had a fellow carnivore here in the chat room who was having chest pains and stuff. So we got her going to the hospital to be checked out.
Yeah. Susan E. Possible heart issues. So, but she's left. She's left. She's going to the hospital right now. So.
Well, Sean, I appreciate you having me on here, bud.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Took a turn, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to pray for her, and hopefully everything's well with that. And it's just nerves or stress or something. But you just can't play with that type of stuff. The difference between life and death. Can't delay on it.
Sandra, excellent advice and super caring assistance. And Arlene says, so wonderful. You guys helping makes me teary-eyed. Thank you so much. Each helping each other out. So beautiful. Well, I mean, we're concerned, And
it has been a long day for me, absolutely, John. But the good news is I got to the end of my 48-hour fast and had my steak and eggs, and I feel amazing right now. So, that last few hours though was definitely a drag. We were supposed to fast last week, and then we didn't do it. So then we decided to go ahead and fast this weekend. Got through yesterday. Most of the day was good, but about 4 or 5 o'clock, I really started feeling the effects of not eating for 48 hours. So it was good to have dinner.
I can imagine. It's been a while since I fasted. I was going to talk to you about that, but things went a little different. But maybe next time.
We try to do a 48-hour fast every couple weeks. It's It's really good for the body. It actually, I feel 100% better when I do it. Helps spur along my weight loss. And it helps tighten up, lose skin as you're losing weight. You start having extra skin. So that's one of the good benefits of it by doing it is it helps bring it all back in.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I plan on doing some alternate day fasting throughout the winter months. Not like all throughout, but like kind of play with it, But all right, well, anything you want to shout out before we wrap this up?
No, I appreciate you having me on the bacon convoy here, the butter convoy. We're making it happen. We care for each other. We care about each and every one of these of you guys in the chat. That's the great thing about the carnivore community is it's a very caring community, and we want the best for each one of you. And I appreciate you guys supporting my channel. I appreciate all the support that goes on. We're what do I got going on? I got interview with JT from Poco Moonshine Family next week, and I got my live stream next week on Sunday. I got an interview with Alia Wells, excuse me. Coming up soon. I got an interview I got Dr. Lisa Wiedemann's going to be on the Carnivore Roundtable in December. I think that's the 17th. So that'll be a good one. Planning some other stuff. Channel is hitting, starting to hit the numbers where I can, start opening it up, and should start getting even more content out there. Going to be working on some stuff, just a matter of time and energy to try to put it all together. And like I said, I do appreciate you guys, and hopefully everything's well with Susan. I will be praying for her as soon as we're done with this live stream. And hopefully everything's good.
I hope so too. Just going through these comments real quick.
It's Carrie.
Carrie, you're coming in at the at the end of it. Okay. Well, this is sorry. This was funny.
Carrie, bye,
Carrie. This is gonna be my last live stream until I think December 3rd, when I think I'm gonna be on Roundtable. I think that's gonna come first. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have a roundtable. You were scheduled for the 26th, but I canceled the 26th live stream roundtable because I'm going to be going to a football game with my son.
Yeah, that's all good. I thought I canceled that anyway. But
you were the only one I had on it, and it was Thanksgiving weekend. I probably should have took it off the list in the first place.
Yeah, that's why I canceled it.
Yeah.
That's why I canceled it. I didn't realize what date it was when I signed up, but oh well. But yeah, this will be my last live stream. Huh?
I took Christmas and stuff off the list. Nobody can sign up for those, but I didn't think about taking Thanksgiving off the list.
Yeah. But anyway, this will be my last live stream till December 3rd, and then actually here in about 45 minutes, I'm going to be doing a recording with Bart K, and I'm going to have that video out next Sunday. And
I'm interested in how that goes because I'd like to have him on the channel sometime.
Well, I've got 3 pages worth of questions for him, so.
Well, he's a smart man. He'll probably answer all 3 of those in the first 15 minutes and leave you wondering what you're going to say after that.
I know, right?
So.
But anyway, let's wrap it up here. Thanks, John, again for coming on.
Absolutely.
And, hopefully Susan's going to be doing good. And y'all drive safe out there. And remember to eat bacon and keep trucking.
Hit the like button, subscribe button.
Yes, that too. Bye.
I'm done. I'm fucking done. I am done. Get out!